I attended a segregated school through the 9th grade in Richmond, and we were told that schools had desegregated, and there was a freedom of choice plan where you could go to any high school in the city that you wanted to go to. So one of my best friends and I decided that we're going to bus ourselves way across town and attend what was then the all-white school, John Marshall High School. And our thinking was that we were going to go over there and be the best football players they have on the team. So that's what we did. There were actually maybe 3 or 4 of us that went to John Marshall High School. I was very involved with sports and football, ran track, I played baseball. Academically, I always did pretty well. So it was not a real problem thinking about attending a William & Mary. As a matter of fact, I kind of welcomed the challenge because I knew I'd be a pioneer and to be a part of integrating a major college in Virginia. I could go days and weeks without seeing another black face on campus, and that was a challenge. It was a challenge, but I had a very strong support system with my family. I mentioned my dad, who was really supportive. There was a time, particularly my first year, when I kind of wavered as to whether or not I would stay there. In fact, I said to him one day, it may have been after midterms or what have you, I said, Dad, I'm thinking about maybe transferring. I had contacted some other schools, Hampton, Morgan, Virginia State. I said, it's pretty tough here. I think I might want to have a different experience. And my dad was a very strong, silent type. And he kind of said in a very soft tone, caught me totally by surprise. He said, well, I can understand how you feel. He said, but the one thing that kind of troubles me is, well, the question that I have is this. He said, I never knew you were a quitter. And he didn't say anything else. But those words, they were just piercing. He said that and that a chill went through me. And I knew right then that I'm going to stay here. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get through this. The racial difference never really surfaced my first year. Interesting enough, my second year when Lou Holtz came, one of the fraternities on campus would have a Confederate parade on Duke of Gloucester Street. And it was a tradition that had been going on for a number of years. But when I heard about it and I thought about it, it didn't really settle well with me at that time. And I knew everybody had the right to participate and so forth. I said, but these are my teammates. These are the guys that I'm in the trenches with, and I'm giving my all for them, and I'm sure they're gonna give their all for me. But it just didn't settle well with me that any of the football team that were members of that fraternity would be marching in that parade. So I went to Coach Holtz and I expressed my concern about that. And I think I made it clear to him that if they chose to participate in the parade, then it would be my decision not to play in the game that Saturday. And he told me, he said, I respect your decision regarding that. And he said, but let me assure you of this. Any teammate of yours that participates in that parade will not play in the game on Saturday. He said, so, we want you to play.
And is that the way it went down?
That's the way it went down, exactly. But I had an outstanding game that day, and Holtz came by and told me I had a really nice game. That Tuesday, that next week, I got a call from my dad. He said, I got a letter from Coach Holtz today. I said, Coach Holtz sent you a letter? I said, uh-oh, what did I do wrong? He said, well, let me read the letter to you. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Winston, this article appeared in the Richmond paper, and I thought I would send it to you in the event you did not see it. Warren is a great young man and a fine football player. I know he will be a success in life. Sincerely, Coach Lou Holtz. You were either a Holtz fan as a player, you loved him, or you hated him. There was no in between. And I was one of those guys that loved him. I thought he was a great coach, came to my rescue a lot of times. The biggest thrill, I would have to say, was meeting my wife on campus. She came in 2 years after I did, and I met her after the season, and at some point she invited me over to her room, and I noticed on her wall, dormitory wall, there were pictures and articles of me plastered all over the wall. And I kind of had a feeling right then that, boy, this is my biggest fan. So to make a long story short, we started dating, went to grad school together, and we got married. And we decided that we wanted to be married in Williamsburg at the Wren Chapel. And very special occasion, a day I'll never forget. And I owe her a lot of my happiness from that point on, particularly because we've had two great kids, a son and a daughter. So all in all, when I reflect back, I think a part of my motivation for going to William & Mary was to be that pioneer. I knew that, being the only black athlete that first year, somebody had opened the door for others to have an opportunity. I felt that I could probably do that. And, thank goodness I did.